Code monkey get up, get coffee. Code monkey go to job. Code monkey have boring meeting with boring manager Rob. Rob say code monkey very diligent, but his output stink. His code not functional or elegant. What do code monkey think? Code monkey think maybe manager wanna write login page himself. Code monkey not say it out loud. Code monkey not crazy, just proud. Code monkey like Fritos. Code monkey like Tab and Mountain Dew. Code monkey very simple man. Big warm fuzzy secret heart. Code monkey like you. Code monkey like you.
What's new, Dino Dudes? It's me, the Raptor. And clearly a lot of time has passed. You can tell because I'm wearing different glasses. That's all I have for this joke. Welcome back to the Raptor Reviews. Let's wrap up this Gamma May. No, that doesn't work actually. Let's just Gamera 3 Revenge of Iris. Sorry, I couldn't think of a funny lead into that. I don't script these, I just take some notes and then talk about that later. Yeah, let's talk about the conclusion to the Gamera trilogy. Came out in 1999. I kind of realized I can't have a much harder time looking at stuff now that I'm wearing sunglasses, also because I have kind of bad eyesight. Anyhow, I remember when I bought this box set and I first took these two Blu-rays out, I remember looking at this and going, okay, this is going to be the coolest one. It's not. It is by far the weirdest one. And it is just bizarre. Like, even by Gamera standards, this thing is weird. And I'm not trying to overact or act it up, like you really have to watch this movie to understand it. But let's talk about it regardless. So the plot of this one is actually an idea that I really like, and I kind of wish we would see more of in monster movies. In fact, we did kind of see it in Godzilla King of the Monsters, so I just want to be able to see better. The idea behind this one is a young girl, essentially, when she was little, her parents were killed by Gamera when he was fighting Legion, or Gaios, they don't really say which, but her parents got killed when Gamera destroyed their house. So, she hates Gamera. That's a very fair, very realistic reaction to having your parents murdered. Frankly, if you were okay with your parents being murdered, what is wrong with you? Sorry to all my fans out there who have no problem killing parents and stuff like that, and I don't mean to offend you, I just gotta ask. What? Sorry, anyhow, back to the review. So anyhow, she finds this egg creature tentacle thingy, and yes, insert hentai joke here, and she starts to raise it. In about like a week, it's grown into this giant skyscraper monster, which she names Iris, after her cat. And essentially, she wants revenge on Gamera. She wants to kill Gamera to avenge her parents. So she sends Iris, essentially unleashes Iris, which turns out to be this giant winged tentacle monster thingy I'll talk about more in a minute because it is awesome. And the psychic girl from the past two are back. The scientist girl from the past two are back. The scientist guy who used to be here is gone. I don't know what happened to him. But one character who kept showing up, then first I thought, oh, okay, he's the comic relief, but actually they gave him a really sympathetic story in this, is a guy named Inspector Osako. He was a police inspector in the first Gamera movie. Understandably, he got terrified after seeing Gaios kill people, so he quit his job, became a security guard. Then Legion attacked, so he quit that job, moved to Tokyo to try and just be another face in the crowd because he was afraid of being alone, and he ends up homeless. That just sucks, man. He isn't like the most memorable character in the world, but that's when you watch these movies and then you kind of get to the third one, you're like, wait, man, that sucks. Like, because you kind of like this guy, you feel bad for him. At first, he kind of comes across almost as like the Jar Jar of these movies, but they don't make him just the, oh, haha, look, the guy is scared. Like, they make him heroic, but they give him reasons to be afraid. It's very realistic, and it's funny though, because it doesn't really go anywhere in the movie. Anyhow, if I've talked about these movies being kind of weird with their plots, this one has the most plot, and also has the least plot. I know that makes no sense, but you gotta just listen to me here. So, we have our main story about this girl who wants revenge on Gamera, rated Iris. We have a story, a subplot, about this boy who the girl kind of falls in love with, kind of for some reason, within 2 minutes, who is like part of this bloodline of guardians of the egg that Iris hatches out of. We have a subplot that goes nowhere about the Japanese Navy finding a Gamera graveyard. We have a subplot about the Gaios suddenly returning and being mutated due to reasons. I believe they say they had to do with the radiation testing and with the climate change again. We also have a weird subplot with these two, like, I guess they're like Team Rocket in a way, but they're not funny, and one of them looks like Japanese Snape, who are after the psychic girl because they believe she can essentially expel demons or something, and like they want control over spirits so they can control the monsters or something. It makes no sense, and they barely explain it. So there's like 6 subplots going on in this movie. Barely any of them ever actually get resolved though. The ones that do get resolved is the girl and her thing with Gamera, because, you know, of course she realizes, oh wait, this is a bad idea, and she feels bad about it. And the one with the weird, like, the Japanese Snape dude, that only gets resolved because he dies. He dies yelling, oh boy, this is scary, before something falls on him. Like, I'm sorry, what? I don't know. This movie opened a lot of questions that I kind of wish would have been answered even in future movies, especially with the ending, which I am going to spoil now. It ends with essentially a whole, like, hundreds of Gaioses coming to Japan all of a sudden, because they had been all over the world. Yeah, they just kind of offhandedly mentioned that. And Gamera stands there and roars defiantly, because he's essentially saying, bring it. I will fight all of you. And then the movie ends. There's no sequel, there's no explanation, it just kind of ends there. That would have been awesome to watch. But I guess we just have to settle for what we got. And what we got from the monsters is awesome. Now, let's talk about Iris. Go look up Iris Gamera 3 on Google Images. Iris has one of the coolest designs I have seen in a giant monster movie, period. Iris is like this giant... Okay, I can't really put it into words, but I'm gonna try. It's like this giant butterfly, beetle, tank, boar, squid, angel, demon creature. Okay, I'm just take a look at the cover like that. I really can't put into words how cool this thing looks at the end when it's like fully formed. And its whole gimmick, like how the Gaios can shoot lasers, the Gurion has a giant sword, like a giant knife on for a head. Gaios can shoot lasers, I think I already said that. Iris can kill people through the power of suck. Yeah. Iris uses tentacles to suck people dry. Yes, I know that sounds dirty, I don't care. But yeah, Iris is a really cool monster. It just kind of sucks that the plot doesn't really give us a whole lot for them to do with it, because Iris kills a bunch of people, Gamera shows up, they fight for like 5 minutes, and then it's done. Because the girl kind of decided, yeah, you know what, maybe I was wrong, blah blah blah, the end. Let's talk about the acting, because it somehow got even worse. This is literally some of the worst acting I have heard in any movie ever. And especially, though, because the actors are constantly shifting in quality. Like, one line, some of these actors will be like, no, we have to do this, don't you understand? Like, they seem expressive, they seem emotional. And the very next line, they'll be like, knife, do something. Knife, do something. Like, even that has more emotion than these actors give in some of the lines. It's weird. And like always, the dialogue makes absolutely no sense. A lot of it's contradictory, or it just makes you question, why would they bother saying that? The story is nonsensical, but at least fun enough that you'll want to watch it. It's not bad, but this one is kind of the most bizarre, especially because there's a number of scenes where things kind of get really trippy all of a sudden. And I get they're trying to be like, meaningful with like, look inside or see the monster you are, but the CG isn't good enough, so... Speaking of that CG, excuse me, the effects look great for the puppetry and the costumes. Gamera still looks awesome. There's a lot of explosions, a lot of like destruction. Iris looks really, really cool. The bodies they have when the people have been like sucked dry by Iris look kind of creepy actually, because like their eyes kind of bulge out, their whole skin is like tightened onto their body. It looks cool. And a lot of people die in this movie. Like, sure, with most kaiju films, you can assume there's gonna be people that die because, oh, hey, look, that building got destroyed. No, like, dozens and dozens of people die in this movie on screen. In explosions, in tentacle attacks, in getting crushed. It is surprisingly dark. And like I've said, though, that dark tone doesn't really work with this series. Something else that didn't work in this movie was the editing. There are a lot of really fast jump cuts and stuff like that that's trying to make you seem disoriented or confusing or trying to keep you on your feet of like what's going on. But if anything, it's almost headache-inducing, especially when those jump cuts are in between very, very shaky cam that I think was trying to make it seem more chaotic during this one fight, but it sucks because that's the major part of the fight between Gamera and Iris that we barely see because of the constant shaking and the fact that the CG looks so bad that you're just left kind of questioning what are you even looking at, that by the time the credits finally roll, you won't be sitting there going, that was cool. You'll be sitting there going, what did I just watch? Seriously, what did I just watch? Now, some of you might be sitting there thinking, oh, okay, so you don't recommend Revenge of Iris. No, actually, I definitely do. As a Gamera movie, it's fun, it's fine, it's really bizarre, and it very much is a movie you have to see to believe. It's not a bad movie by any stretch of the word. Sure, it's a bad movie when it's following up with the two previous ones. But I can still see myself going back and rewatching it. I've seen it like 4 or 5 times now. It's fun. It's another Gamera movie. It gives you what you want, and a whole bunch of stuff you didn't ask for, but still, you get what you wanted. I'm happy I finally got around to these movies. I've been meaning to do them for a while. Like I've said, if you can find them, watch them. I wouldn't recommend paying $100 for this little trilogy box set, but do pay $100 for the Arrow Collection one that might be like $150 or something, I don't know, but that would be worth it because it's all the Gamera movies up to now. So yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, this has been the Media Raptor, saying keep cool, and I'll see all you dino dudes around. Later. What did I just watch?
Gamera is really me. Gamera is filled with me. We've been eating Gamera. Shell, teeth, eyes, flames, claws, breath, scales, fun. Dr. Forrester is kind of a jerk. And Frank is really dumb too. We have to take part.